We carry water on our heads, babies on our backs, joy in our hips. We till the fertile ground in our garden, in our soul, in our children. We grow. We watch things grow. We yield fruit in season. We stand in front of fire, in front of desk, behind camera, behind pulpit, in the face of war. We face evil. We face violence. We face obstacles. We stare, struggle in the eyes, and dare struggle to stare back. We take the last bit of flour, add water, make tortillas, make porridge, make naan, make dumplings, make biscuits, make dough with hands that knead the dough, and build the bricks and raise the babies and teach the children. We carry community in our wombs, in our chest, in our arms, on our backs. We take our words and put them together like so many sticks until they ignite. We build fire, and around that fire we sing. We sing because a song always gives birth. We sing because a song always knows where the soul is wounded. We sing because a song reminds us that we are always at home in this body, in this skin, and around that fire we dance. We dance to the tune of liberation. We dance for the women who have gone before us, for the women who are no longer here, for the women who cannot speak. We dance and fight for justice until every woman is free. Hear the drums in the rhythm we walk as we speak in our mother tongue, as we say prayers in our mother's tongues. We find our language in banana leaves and avocado and mango and rice and yams and seaweed. We tell our stories while braiding the hair of our daughters, while building a business, while going to school or performing surgery or frying chicken, because nobody needs to tell our stories for us, because our stories belong to us, because we belong to each other. We raise our hands, we raise our voices, we raise the next generation. We create, we invent, we pioneer, we know the way, we see no path, so we use our feet to build one for the ones who will come after us. We live a legacy in the sound of our laughter. Every day, we build a world. Thank God for women. Hey, Brave Conference. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I do bring you greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. I bring you greetings from the land of the biscuits, the collard greens, and the fried chicken, from the land of the sweet tea that is sweetened while it's hot. Hello? That is sweetened while it's hot, not when they bring it to the table when there's ice in it and they slide the sugar. No, you sweeten the tea while it's hot, and you don't measure it. You take the bag and you tip it over like this, and you pour it until your soul feels like it's sweet enough. And you stir it up and you put 2 ice cubes in it. That is how sweet tea is made. I bring you greetings from the land of these things. I'm so happy that we're talking about being brave this week. So I want to share with you a few things that can help you to be brave. And one of the most important things when you're going to be brave is you want to be brave enough to be yourself, to be exactly who it is that God called you to be, with your hair and your skin and your hips, whatever it is that you have, your wrinkles, your folds, your molds, your freckles, all of it. You want to be who it is that God called you to be. Whenever I'm in a room with younger women, and I try to tell them, you know, we all have a narrative that told us sort of what it was like to be a woman. It was a song or a book or a movie we watched. And for me, it was a book by Judy Blume called Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And it's really interesting to be in a room of younger women trying to talk about this, because the first thing I have to admit to them is that there wasn't Google at the time that I was transitioning into womanhood through puberty and those things. And so that gets really weird, because high school and college students are immediately like, wait, what? I'm like, no, there was no Google. You had to get internet through a CD-ROM, and those are these round things, and you had to put them in this drive, and it gave you so many hours on AOL. And there wasn't really that much to search on there, so you couldn't go in there and put things like training bra, which was something I really wanted to know a lot about. And that's like really weird for them, that they're like, where did you get your information? I'm like, well, we went to the library and we read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. You know, Margaret was gonna tell us everything that was getting ready to happen, you know? Because I was looking at the grown women in my life and I was like, okay, she got some things that I don't have. So, am I gonna get those things? Am I gonna get those things? I actually was praying to God about a certain bra cup size. And I prayed to God and asked for a C cup because I felt that that was like a medium prayer to ask. It was reasonable that God could answer that request. And I let my grandma overhear when I was about 14 that I was asking God this, and she was like, oh no, baby, I done prayed against that. Sis, why are you praying against, my chest situation? Like, I don't want, she was like, oh no, God gave me real big breasts, so I done prayed 2 generations down from me that y'all won't have breasts big as mine. Wait, sis, hey. Because now I'm feeling like if God had to choose between you and me, he definitely gonna choose you. I mean, you've been around here a long time, I don't know. So I want to share with you all this poem about the things I have learned about being a woman. It is called Margaret. Everything I needed to know about being a woman, I learned from Judy Blume in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I was 12 when I met Margaret. Me with the tortoiseshell glasses and pink sponge roller bangs, and she was just like me. Okay, she was Jewish, so she was quite a bit lighter. Her hair was quite a bit straighter, but we both felt alone in the world, trying to figure out what breasts and hips would make us become. And speaking of breasts, I really wanted some. Like, I wanted to fill a training bra to capacity, not that jockey sports bra that my mom got for me. But Margaret, she encouraged me with enough reps of we must increase our bust. I could fulfill my big chest fantasies, and well, we see what happened with that. So while Margaret prayed to God to make her a woman, I played MASH. Let me stop this poem for a second, just so I know we're all on the same page right here, okay? So we need to be all on the same page right here. Okay, so MASH was a game you played on a piece of paper. Yes, it was a notebook paper, okay? On the top said what? M-A-S-H. What it stand for? Mansion, apartment, shack, house. Okay, now you had some categories that went on your paper. Okay, you had boy or husband, depending on how you felt that time, okay? It's tricky. Yeah, okay, you had your number of kids, your occupation, right? The car you were gonna drive, okay? And then you did like a little squiggly thing like this. And then you had to count. And then you would keep going until there was only one thing left in each category. That was your story. That was who you were gonna be. Now, if your friends didn't like you very much, they would tell you the rules are you pick 3 things and they pick 1. And that's how you end up being a bear trapper for a living, when that's not even what you wanted to be. But Katie was like, no, this is how we play. Where are you from, Katie? Like, we don't play it like that. I choose my stuff. You don't need to pick. Okay, let me go back in the poem. So while Margaret prayed to God to make her a woman, I played MASH. Ended up living in a shack with Tevin Campbell, while we try to raise our 4 kids on a beekeeper's salary, just so we can keep up the payments on our new Ferrari. I was a pretty girl disguised as a nerd who never quite made it to being a high, and I'm still looking for Ken, hoping I'll look just like Barbie. Forgive me for being a grown woman with the same fears I had at 13, because I'm sick of all the boys in my class being shorter than me, peering behind my glasses, hopefully wishing Adonis in the back of my pre-algebra class would notice me. But digging the skin you're in takes work, takes wading through hurt, digging through dirt, reminding yourself how much you're worth. And Tyra's only got so many photos in her hand, and I may never be America's next top model. All I'm really trying to be is my own best me. That was the one thing that Margaret couldn't teach me. I had to learn to smile without my hand over my mouth like Celie, learn to embrace my blemishes as beauty. And if I have to learn the lesson of loving imperfection for the rest of my life, then let that be my journey, because there's this teenage girl who needs me to tell her, one day, you'll shed that old insecurity. You'll break out of your cocoon and fly. So another thing that you need in order to be brave is you need what some people on the internet say a squad. I'm still unsure about that term. But you need some good girlfriends, okay? You need some girlfriends I'm talking about like cry and snot girlfriends, okay? Like ugly cry, your mascara went like this down your face when y'all met up. You need some friends like that. You need a friend okay, sometimes when you're about to get married, it's some things after you get married that you have some questions about. We'll talk about that at the next Brave conference, but it's some things you just have some questions. And so when my husband and I got married, he was a youth pastor at the time, so when it was time for him to go back to work, I was like, bye, babe, love you. Bye. I love you so much. Have a great day. Be blessed. And God just love you so much. As soon as he shut the door, I was like, do. Are you at home? Because I really have a lot of questions that you didn't answer when you were at the bridal shower. There were some things you didn't tell me. You brought the blender, but you didn't tell me some stuff. So and she was like, girl, come over. And I was like, but you didn't explain this, and you didn't tell me this. She was like, okay, well, turn to page 96, and I'm gonna show you. And I was like, what is this? So I had a lot of questions about things, and you need a good girlfriend who you can call in your times of need, okay? When you need to ugly cry, you need a girlfriend that you can call and be like, I need to come to your house right away. And she's like, I got pizza, let's go. You need these friends. I watch Grey's Anatomy. I don't know how many of you are fans of this show. And one of my favorite episodes, which was kind of sad for me because it was Christina Yang's last episode before like her character left. And she and Meredith Grey have this moment where she turns to Meredith and she says, you are my person. You make me brave. You need women in your life like that. Women who are going to speak God's truth to you. Women who are not waiting for you to have it all together. Women who you can go over their house, then come over your house when there are dishes in the sink and there's dirt on the floor. When you have no makeup on at all. When you possibly haven't showered. You need these women in your life. And I look back and think, I was actually in Nashville last week and I had 2 girlfriends that I haven't seen in a really long time. And we're like past like the small talk era of friendship where it's like, girl, how's the weather been here? Girl, it's been colder here than we thought. Like, skip all that. You been depressed? What's up? Like, tell me what's been going on. And then, did you cuss at your child? I thought we discussed you wasn't gonna cuss at your child again. Like, I feel like we talked about that and like, you're still doing that. And I thought we weren't gonna do it, you know? You need these kind of girlfriends. Because womanhood is a sisterhood, but we need each other. So I want to challenge you before I do this next poem. If you've got a girlfriend that you're close to and you love her, and y'all haven't talked in a while, text her or Marco Polo or whatever the stuff is you're doing. But do that, because we don't want to lose touch with each other. We want to keep those friendships close. That's a part of how God helps us grow. He uses our friendships to do that. So this next poem is called Girlfriend's Poem. I don't know why it's making me laugh. We find our friendships at coffee shops and at lunch tables, in green rooms and quiet corners of other people's parties. We skip the shallow small talk and pleasantries. We turn public places into living rooms. We bare our souls. We decide not to hide where the extra folds have made their home on our bodies. We drink wine and margaritas and chai. We tell jokes over guacamole and queso and tortilla chips. We toast to cupcakes and butter rolls because who needs champagne when you can dish over donuts because calorie counting don't count here. Yo round hips are welcome here. Here, we celebrate cellulite and stomachs that never return to taut after gaining weight or birthing children or slowly losing our need to impress people who care nothing about us. Here, we preach acceptance to each other. We say to each other, girl, love yourself the way you love me, the way you forgive me when I'm late, even though I say every time that I'm going to be on time, the way you let me vent when I'm angry, the way you let me cry when I want to be mean to the world and to myself, the way you pray for my soul to find rest. As you watch me carry my stress into panic attacks and migraines, we walk together, we sweat together, we lift the weight of this world till our arms and souls are stronger for it. We try to mend each other's broken hearts by saying things like, remember that time when, like that time that I was head over heels in love with this man who looked so good, but his lips could never manage to tell the truth in that job you hated? How when I called, you pretended that I was a customer for the coworker who always eavesdrops on your conversations. And true story, the time that I was so broke, we switched cars to play tricks on the repo man. The day you found out you were pregnant, and then your husband lost his job. Sometimes when we meet, We drop bombs about the parents and babies we've lost, about grieving, about jobs and promotions that mean new locations and cities, about finding new ways, do the same old things, about first dates that never make it to second ones, and we decide not to judge. You can never know the pain another woman is hiding behind insecurity or too much mascara or an ill-fitting outfit until you have not only walked in her shoes, but also know her pain and wounds, how she survived her scars, that it is brave to look yourself in the eyes every day and decide to love the woman who stares back. We are more than bestie or BFF. We are tribe and sisterhood. We are not what reality TV tries to convince us woman friendship is. We do not throw martini glasses and derogatory words. We hold each other up with grace and laughs and love just because, girl, we are here until we stop hiding our grays, until the generation after us begins to take care of us, until we help them stand while they help us sit, until we turn our porch into town hall meetings and drink wine to stave off sickness and can barely hear out of either ear because we dance too close to the speakers at all the parties and concerts with no regrets. With no, we haven't dreamed and done that yet. We carry the meaning of the word friend in the wrinkles of our hands. We take each other's secrets and stories to the grave with us. So another thing you need in order to be brave is you have to be brave enough to be honest. And a place that sometimes is not encouraging us to be honest is social media. Now just go with me for a second because I'm not hating on social media. There's a lot of great things about this. First of all, it's a great opportunity to be nosy. And I'm really here for being nosy about other people's lives. It's really great for that. It's also great during an award show. It's a great time. During a TV show you like, it's a good time to be on social media. But there are also some other things about social media that go really badly. One of them is it makes us feel like in order for us to post something on there that our kitchen has to be clean, that our children cannot have been bad that day, that we have to look like, I don't know if y'all watch Scandal, but some of y'all like, no, I'm a Christian. But, you know, when you watch Scandal, Olivia Pope will like go to bed and then like they'll go commercial break and then it's like time for her to get up. And I'm like, sis, your eyebrows look like that? Like when you wake up, like it's like the full face. Like none of us wake up like that. But social media with all its filters can make you feel like that's what you need to be. But one of the bravest things you can do is be honest. Be honest with God. Be honest with yourself and your family and your community. Don't hold it all together. Don't feel like you gotta pretend your kids weren't bad today. You know they were bad today. It's okay. You don't have to pretend that your marriage is like you're inside the Notebook, which, you know, there's certain parts of the Notebook that I'm like, do we really want marriage to be like that? Because like, I don't know, you know? You don't have to pretend. Being brave is about being honest. So I want to read to y'all an excerpt from my book, How to Fix a Broken Record. And I had 2 chapters here. One of them is called Reasons Why Social Media is the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, but we're not going to read that. This one is Reasons Why Social Media is the Worst Thing That Ever Happened to Me. Being on social media is stressful. It can cause high blood pressure, panic attacks, and stink eye. Okay. I have no medical evidence for this, but I do know if you let it, social media can ruin your life, your lunch, and possibly a few distant friendships. In 30 minutes of scrolling through social media, I have wondered the following. Is my house clean enough? Is my relationship loving enough? Do I work enough? Do I work too much? We gotta have some kids right now. No, never mind. Kids are crazy. Look what his kid did to the kitchen. Wait, I wish I had that couch. Do I get enough sleep? Do I sleep too much? I wish I had that house. I wish I had that opportunity. How did she get to meet Jill Scott? I wanna meet Jill Scott. Why didn't I get invited to the movie premiere? Why didn't I get invited to the dinner party? I mean, I probably wasn't gonna go anyway, but they could have at least invited me. Does she wake up looking that pretty? Like my hair never does that when I wake up. My hashtag no filter pictures never look like that. Did I choose the right angle for my selfie? Do I take too many selfies? Do I not take enough selfies? Should I do the selfie challenge? What about the love your spouse challenge? What about the gratitude challenge? Is it boot season? Is it sandal season? Is it cuffing season? Do I Netflix and chill? Do people who say Netflix and chill actually Netflix and chill? Is it crunk? Is it turned? Is it lit? What is the age bracket for who should say what? Are my dinners foodie enough? Are my foodies dinner enough? Am I enough? Do not scroll social media if you are bored, lonely, hungry, hangry, tired on Valentine's Day. During the Aren't We So Disgustingly in Love 30-day challenge, after a breakup, before a breakup, after fighting with your spouse, before fighting with your spouse, while potty training your children, when it's raining, when you've gained or lost weight, when you have a big project to finish, or when there is a dessert table nearby. Do not scroll social media when you are trying to finish writing a book, or you will never finish writing your book. Do not scroll social media and call it research. 2 hours later, you will know nothing more than you knew when you started, and you will have a craving for that chicken Alfredo lasagna espresso smoothie because of some video you saw. Because of social media, I learned the offensive political beliefs of people I love. I learned that some of my friends don't eat donuts, cornbread, or cake. There is a lot of sadness in the world. Sometimes I try to imagine what it would have been like if Jesus had social media. Would he have had a Facebook group for his disciples? Would Peter have live tweeted the Sermon on the Mount? Would John have posted the fishes and the loaves on Instagram? Would Jesus' wine wedding miracle have had a hashtag? Would his mom ask him to post a picture of his miracle on Facebook for her? Would he try to unify the Android and Apple users? I don't know. We'll never know. But I'm certain Jesus would use social media to do what he always does. He'd love those who so many people deemed unlovable. He'd invite the outcast. He'd have a low tolerance for those who hide behind their religion so they can seem like they are better than other people. He'd speak truth devoid of pride. He would still give his life for all of us, those of us stuck on our phones and tablets, and those who prefer face-to-face to FaceTime, I'm also pretty sure. Jesus would not invite anyone to play Candy Crush Saga. The last way I want to share with you that you can be brave is you can come to God. No matter where you are, no matter what you've done or what's been done to you, you can always come to God. One of the things I'm learning about God is not always waiting for us to hurry up and get our stuff together. That no matter where we are, Jesus is always like this. Come to me. You're hurting? Come to me. You're wounded? Come to me. You need to forgive? Come to me. You need to be forgiven? Come to me. So this last poem was inspired by a friend of mine. She's not a Christian. And she would tell me that out front every time, Amena, I don't believe like you. I don't have faith like you. But certain times in her life, she would call me and ask me to pray for her. So I would. But then this went on a long time. And so I finally felt like I needed to tell her, you can talk to God yourself, right? Like, you don't need me. Like, I don't have anything more together than you. And she would say, well, what if I talk to God? Then how do I know I'm hearing back from God? And what a powerful question that I don't know if I answered it really well that day, but I tried my best, And for some reason, this showed up in a poem. So I want to close with this poem called She Said, How Do You Know When You're Hearing from God? And wherever you are, I want you to be brave enough to come to God. That's a part of what Brave Conference is about. You be brave enough to bring God whoever you are, whatever you have, whatever you don't have or think you don't have. You come to God because God's always ready to receive you. Here's this last poem. She said, how do you know when you're hearing from God? I didn't know how to answer. It is to explain the butter grit of cornbread to a mouth that just discovered it has a tongue. The sound of jazz to ears that only ever thought they'd be lobes of flesh. The sight of sunsets to a blinded eye that an instant conceived to fail. At the ability to describe how the scent of baked bread can make the mind recall a memory. Every detail of a house, a room, a conversation. Like explaining to a newborn baby, this is what it feels like to be held. My words never felt so small, so useless, so incapable. I wanted to tell her, put your hand in the center of your chest. Feel the rhythm there. I wanted to tell her, you will find the holy text in so many places, on crinkly pages of scripture, in a dusty hymnal, in the creases of a grandmother's smile, the way she clasps her hands and prays familiar, as if to dignitary and friend, the way she sings a simple song from her spirit and turns her porch into a cathedral. I learned from my great grandmother how to pray, how to talk to God, how to listen. watching her and the other silver-haired church mothers gather in her living room. See, they prayed living room prayers because you don't have to be inside the four walls of a church to cry out to the God who made you. And despite what the laws say, or what our human flaws say, God's ears don't play favorites. God's ears don't assess bank accounts or social status, for they attune themselves to the story your tears or your fears are telling. God's ears are here for the babies, for the dreamers, for the refugee, for the widow, for the orphan, for the oppressed, for the depressed and the lonely, for those about to make a mess or caught in the middle of cleaning one up. See, dirt don't scare God's ears. God is a gardener. God knows full well it takes rain and sun and soil to make things grow. I want to tell her, if you want to experience God, you got to be willing to experience what's holy in some places that many people don't even deem to be sacred, that sometimes God sits next to you on a bar stool, spilling truth to you like too many beers, that God knows full well the dance we do when we love ourselves so little that just about anyone will do, that God cares about the moments you find yourself on the edge of a cliff, on the edge of sanity, on the edge of society, that God is always waiting, always lingering after the doors close and the phone doesn't ring and you are finally alone, that God is always saying, I love you, I'm here, don't go, stay, please, that God is always pleading with us to trust, to love, to listen, that God's voice is all bass lines and thunder and whisper and grace. Sometimes when I pray, I think about her, how the voice of God was lingering in her very question. How just like her, just like you, just like me, we're all still searching, still doubting. I know I don't have all the answers. I know I never will. Maybe the best thing we can do is put our hand in the middle of our chest, feel the rhythm there, turn down the noise in our minds, in our lives, and whisper, God, whatever you want to say, I'm here, I'm listening.